Welcome back to Frontline Eurosports Online. Your host Nate Jennings is going to be delivering our first 2017 R9t racer to our man Brian. Yeah, you're excited?
Indeed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Beautiful paint scheme that brought you in, and the beautiful lines of our true cafe racer from BMW with that beautiful boxer power plant. So I start every delivery with a tire safety warning. You're purchasing a brand new motorcycle, so please ride like you're riding in the rain for the first 50 to 100 miles. We have a acclimation time of getting used to the motorcycles. You said you're going to take the time to do anyway, but you also have a silicone coating on these mufflers to help them pop out of the mold, preserve shelf life. One of the big things you are is a preventive maintenance guy. So we talked about some of our oil services and whatnot, but tires is another question. We're going to have 36 pounds in the front, 39 pounds in the rear. There is a placard on the steering stem you can look at that'll have the 36, 39 posted for the cold temperatures. We have a BMW with the made wheels here, so you're going to have the simplicity of checking your tire pressure once I find our stem here.
Okay, I have a question.
Fire away, sir.
Is there a break-in period on this bike, or do I ride it like I stole?
You have two different mentalities on that.
Yes,
BMW does have a recommended break-in procedure. They want you to keep it under 5,000 RPMs until you get that initial 600-mile service.
Oh, okay.
Variation of the throttle,
Yes.
pressure and vacuum in there,
Yes.
helping everything seal and seat correctly on the motorcycle.
Okay.
So, our front wheel configuration, we're on a 120/70/17, real easy tire size to find and be able to have different multiple options if you want to take this as your more long distance cruiser or if you're looking for track days with us or something
Yeah,
of
it's
that
one thing
nature.
I liked about this bike.
Comes with a nice
Yeah,
muffler.
a lot of options on tires.
Absolutely. Our twin disc braking system with our floating rotors, our Brembo twin piston cups back here, led by steel braided brake lines. So that's going to go up to our master cylinder where we have an adjustable brake lever, and we have a sight glass on the front for our fluid levels and fluid clarity. The bike does feature ABS and traction control. So with that, on your side, you can see there's an extra ring
Yes.
right here that's
Yes.
monitoring our front wheel speed, and we have one on our rear wheel for our rear tire speed as well for ABS and our ASC. We have a hydraulic dampening system. That is our front fork legs. There's a non-adjustable element on this particular motorcycle. We do have a steering stabilizer down on the bottom, so when you're coming off those awesome wheelies, you got some good stabilization in there. We're ripping it through these beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. You have the air oil-cooled power plant. So it's the Boxer 1200 with an external oil cooler located out front. And then we go into an air-cooled cylinders with fuel injection.
Yes.
So these are our throttle bodies back here, leading our air inlet tubes to our air box. And you can actually see your batteries back behind the air box. That's
And you have that
right
beautiful
here.
snorkel with
Yes, sir. That
deep
brushed
boss copy.
aluminum.
Lovely. Lovely.
I'm glad you love this, man.
Yeah.
So then we move back a little bit further. We have our rear set assembly for our more aggressive ergonomics on this machine with the brake pedal going to our heel guard covered Brembo master cylinder. We'll have one more steel braided line going up to our ABS module and then returning to our rear brake caliper. We have one rubber hose, which is our overflow, fluid level, and fluid check for our rear braking system. We have our BMW Paralever shaft drive system, but this is a hinged element with a rubber boot here and a torsion bar across the top to give us that more athletic feel on this machine.
Yes.
In our
So it won't lift so much on throttle.
Yes, you're not getting that levering action,
Yeah.
you're getting suspension usage and actually squatting on the motorcycle. We have an easy to adjust preload. You can see our two rings in the back for our rear shock. That is going to give us our preload adjustment for this motorcycle. And that was a spanner wrench that you saw in the care package that we supplied you with so that you can make adjustments. I like to tell people to get that first service done, get that 600 miles in, get dexterity into the springs before we start cranking a bunch of preload down onto it.
Okay.
Our awesome, beautiful, 5-spoke, single-sided swing arm to pop more sex out of the motorcycle.
You know, these wheel designs, I thought, match the style of this bike beautifully. Because, you know, it's meant to look like something like a R9ts from the 70s. These mags, they have a hint of like Krager mag, you know, and I just thought, you know, that's cool. That's cool.
Excellent. So then we got our new design canister on the R9t Racer. They did not do the twin Acropovic. We have a single chrome canister here. We have our correlating pilot's footrest with a collapsible foot peg with that big old feeler gauge on it, so that when we're getting in these beautiful mountains, we can have a little indication that we're at a maximum lane angle. We also have a 6-speed gearbox, 1 down, 5 up. That is a linkage, so these heim joints can be broken loose and make pedal adjustments right here for this motorcycle. As we move forward, we have our correlating cylinder, air inlet tube, fuel injection module. We do have an accessory socket located right above the left cylinder.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, a little Euro socket to give us a little extra charging power on this bad boy. And if we look way down on the bottom, we're going to be able to see our sight glass, our spin-on oil filter, and obviously a drain on the bottom as well. Let's get to the fun parts of the motorcycle. We can get into the handlebars and controls and instrumentation, but we still have one other service area. We had that key that came in our care package as well. And we can remove our seat cowl with a bolt down to the bottom here. Loosey-goosey, pull that out. Your seat cowl comes off and exposes your toolkit.
How does the seat itself come off?
You'll have 2 additional bolts in the back of that once you pull the seat cowl off.
All right.
Which we already addressed that we have storage here. So we have an extra pocket in the back for a little extra tire repair kit.
I love that.
Yeah. You're going to put your pump tire repair kit and such back there.
Beer.
Conceal this back.
Because the only time I wear my backpack, quite honestly, is when I go buy wine. That's true. That's true.
That's perfect. Yeah. Do you want to mount your machine at this time or go through the instrumentation? You want to do it from the side?
From the side's fine.
All right. So we have our lock cylinder right here. This is the ignition key that's going to turn our engine on, or it is also our steering column lock for us. It's the same key that's going to work our fuel filler, which you have your full tank for us right now. On the controls, we have our conventional twist throttle. We mentioned our front brake with adjustability there. We have a heated element for our grips. You're going to have a high and low and an off position.
I like that.
Run, cycle, and start button integrated into one switch. Work our way across the twin clocks. We get to the left side. We have our hydraulic clutch that is a 5-position adjustable clutch lever for our friction zone. We have our conventional horn, left and right turn signals, pushing in for cancelization, high beam. If you put your left hand up here, you know it's a pull for intermittent flash and a push for constant. Then we have our warning lights for hazards. We have ABS and traction control switchability and trip and information button. So now we can twist that key. Turns on our instrumentation. I'm going to go over the ABS and traction control first, real quick and easy. So those are those 2 lights flashing on the left side of our speedometer gauge here. So it's going to have traction control and ABS. If I want to turn my traction control off and be that wild inner child side, 1001, I just turn my traction control off with a quick burst on that button.
Okay.
I can do a constant hold on that button and it'll go to where it's going to cycle both of them off for me, ABS and traction control. If those lights are solid, that means that Ryan's in control. You made the conscious decision to override ABS and traction control. So now we have traction control flashing. I just turn traction control back on and ABS is off at this point in time. Whenever we cycle the key on this motorcycle, let it time out. When we turn it back on, we should always come on ABS and traction control equipped.
Or it resets.
So it's always starting you off in the safest possible mode.
So they're both on. Okay,
correct.
Cool.
The flashing will disappear when we take this machine down the road and get some speed to it so it can self-check the wheel speed monitors and send us positive signal to the ECU that we're functioning properly. You can see your neutral light. You can see your turn signals in there. We have our high beam located on the far left side of the speedometer, which I was just pulling my intermittent flash in.
Okay.
And while we're focused on the left gauge here, we're going to use this trip button. That's going to go through our odometer, trip 1, trip 2, our trip A, engine temperature, our timepiece, and setup menu.
What's the normal range of this engine warm? Hot, out running.
Say again your question, sir?
What temp does this bike normally run out?
You're being at probably 200 and 210 degrees temperature.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what environment you're in, obviously. In an urban environment, you're utilizing air cooling capacity, so it could elevate in its temperatures in those conditions. But out fluidly moving around, we should be okay and find it in that 190 to 210 range most likely. So we went into our menu to play and set up our stuff in the setup menu, like set our clock, set our date, our brightness of the screen, and we're going to exit back out of here and get to our main screen so that we can flow through our odometer and trip meters again. Now we go to the right-hand side, which houses our tachometer, our gear indicator on the far right-hand side. This is our information button, and we're going to start with our consumption gallons per hour, our miles per hour average, our voltage check, our ride time, our date, and back to our fuel consumption instantaneous for us.
I think it's cool that these look like traditional analogs.
Yes, sir.
But they're actually electronic.
Tons of information
it's
packed
cool.
in there.
Yeah, it's cool.
So we've went through this motorcycle in its entirety for the most part, Brian, and I wanted to see if you would be willing to take this machine outside, let everybody hear your R9t racing.
Okay, sure.
Excellent. Well, let's get doing that. Alright, so Brian's gonna start his new R9t racer for us so we can all hear that amazing twin, that boxer from BMW. That's a good spot, so we got the cycle of our key. Always pulling in our clutch and checking for neutral for safety, and then give her a little start on the right-hand control.
Does it have the clutch lockout on it?
You can actually start it without the clutch pulled in if you like to.
There's that rock.
There's going to be upgrades if you want to, like across big mufflers and whatnot, as I know you like to do that type of stuff with your
But you know, for stock, that sounds really good.
BMW always does a good job.
Yeah, they